So guess what, you guys? I can do magic now.
Oh.
Yeah. No studying, none of that stuff. I just had to go outside, perform a little ritual. A shadow came up out of the back alley, and I had to sign a contract in a certain red liquid. But yeah, it's all good.
Okay, but yeah, what's the cost? It must have cost something.
Oh, nothing. Here, it's all in the contract. It says side effects include, but are not limited to, tingling in the fingertips, shadows following you, voices in your head, excessive napping, being witch hunted, bleeding from your eyes, bleeding from your mouth, bleeding from your... Oh no. Hey everybody, I'm Ryan, also known as the Mind Player. I'm joined by my friends.
Hi, I'm Cassie.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Cameron.
And we make up
Twilight
Enigma.
So as you might already have guessed, we are talking about the Warlock today. Warlock is an individual who doesn't want to study. They don't want to go and do all the bookwork. They don't want to go to a college of bards. They weren't blessed with innate sorcery, and they don't want to follow no religion. So they decide to make a deal with some other entity, usually a devil or some shadowy figure or something from the far realms that doesn't even pay attention to them. Yeah, but that individual gets magic from this creature or entity that is stronger and more powerful than your Axe deodorant. Anyways, so the Warlock is very neat. They are a weird spellcaster, okay? They're very strange. So they start off with what's called Eldritch Invocations, okay? Each of your invocations has a prerequisite, like a certain level or an invocation that came before it, and you gain these as you gain levels. You also get your Pact Magic, which gives you access to certain cantrips. Not a lot, just 2, half of what the sorcerer gets. But then you gain limited access to spells. So at level 1, for example, you only have 1 Eldritch Invocation, 2 cantrips, and 2 prepared spells. And you get 1 spell slot. That's it. You can cast 1 spell at level 1. However, you get your spells back on a short rest all the time. As you level up, though, that's where the beauty of the Warlock begins to show. So you can switch your spells every time you level up. And as you get more spells and your spells become more potent, every time you cast a spell, it's at the highest level possible. So your spell you chose at level 1, when you cast it when you're at 7th level gives you access to 4th level spell slots. Every time you cast, it will be at 4th level.
Even if you use a low spells?
They don't have lower spell slots.
Oh.
They don't get lower. They always are at the highest spell slot that they have.
Yeah, they have a certain number of spell slots. Those spell slots are this level. That level increases as you level up.
Gotcha. Yeah, instead of like adding more spell slots, they just move them to higher levels.
Yeah.
I mean, they do add more as well, but
you get a few more.
It's never, like, even at level 20, you only have 4 spell slots.
Yeah. Yes, but there are some other things that show up that make the Warlock pretty cool. We'll talk about that. So you have a spellcasting focus, which allows you to do your spellcasting, and also charisma is what they're based in. You can, at level 2, do what's called magical cunning. You can perform an esoteric rite for 1 minute. At the end of it, you regain expended Pact magic spell slots, but no more than a number equal to half your maximum rounded up. So if you're at level 11 and your maximum is, 3, you get 2. Yeah, you get 2 of them back. You don't have to do a short rest. But then also you can short rest and get all 3 of them back. So you regain spells quickly, but you don't have a lot of them. But the ones you cast are very potent.
Yeah.
Right? Now, on top of that, as you're going, you get some other really cool abilities. Like you have this patron, right? Your patron is the one who gives you magic. At level 9, you're now able to directly contact your patron for extra knowledge. I wouldn't do that if you chose Cthulhu as your patron. But there are other patrons you can choose that are probably better to contact.
Yeah.
You also get what's called a Mystic Arcanum at level 11. Your patron grants you something. You get to choose a level 6 Warlock spell because your spell slot levels max out at 5. You can't do higher spells. You get Mystic Arcanums then allow you to cast higher level spells. And the cool thing is you can do it without expending a spell slot. So you suddenly have this very potent spell you can cast, doesn't use
Is it once a long rest?
Once a long rest, though, right? The Warlock is a more complicated spellcaster than a lot of spellcasters.
There's a lot more rules to be looking at, for sure.
Is a Warlock technically a half caster?
They're technically a half caster, I believe. Yes, they do get proficiency with simple weapons and light armor training.
So there you go.
Yeah, they can be a little bit more they can fight more than a wizard or a sorcerer can. Yeah. Then you get your epic boon that everybody gets at level 19, but at level 20, when you use your magical cunning feature, the one that gives you half rounded up your spell slots, you get all of your spell slots back.
Okay, so it's just another way for you to get all your spell slots back in the day.
So they don't have very many spell slots, but honestly, I feel like they can cast more than playing a bard.
Well, and we didn't mention much about their cantrips.
Yes.
Get empowered as well by like all these
Right.
invocations and things, right?
That's the big deal is so you have cantrips and you cast cantrips. And it's like, oh, cantrips, I want my leveled spells. The wizard's casting a 6th level spell. I've run out of spell slots. Well, here's the thing. They get access to Eldritch Blast, which is one of the most potent of all cantrips in the game. And then as they level up, they get their Eldritch Invocations, which start at 1, but by level 2 you have 3, you have 5 by level 5, and it just goes all the way up to level 10, or up to 10 Eldritch Invocations. And these do all sorts of special stuff, like Agonizing Blast. Classic. Has a prerequisite. You have to be a level 2 warlock and have a cantrip that deals damage. But if you do, and you choose this, you choose one of your warlock cantrips that deals damage, and you now add your charisma modifier to the damage rolls. So like somebody who does damage with a weapon, where, with my strength, I hit with the sword and I get to add my +4 strength to the damage. Well, you get to now do that to your spell cantrips.
And you said it operates on charisma too, so you're probably going to have a pretty high charisma score.
Charisma. Yes. This, and some of these are repeatable, so you can choose multiple cantrips to modify that way. There are things like Eldritch Smite. So there are certain pacts you can choose. In the old edition, you had to choose one of 3 pacts. There was Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Blade, and Pact of the Tome, which you chose that, and then on top of that, you got your Eldritch Invocations. Now, those 3 things are Eldritch Invocations, and you get more Eldritch Invocations than you used to get. So if you choose some of these pacts, there are then other invocations that affect those pacts more. So if you choose Pact of the Blade, which gives you all of that, the bonuses for that, you can then also later at level 5 pick Eldritch Smite. I cannot talk right now. It's probably because I was up too late summoning something. And that lets you do an extra D8 force damage to the target, right? So the Warlock doesn't cast a ton of spells, but what they do, they cast very potently, they get them back very quick, and then they get all of these extra little bonuses all over the place that affect their spells, affect their sword, affect their ability to do various things. And it's all quite complicated, but very rewarding.
They kind of have given you a skill tree here now.
Yeah.
Because there's those prerequisites, right? So if you want to choose one of the pacts, then you can go on from there, and the prerequisites sort of tell you that path.
So here's something, right? Not a lot of spell slots, but if you choose Eldritch Invocation, one with shadows, while you're in an area of dim light or darkness, you can cast invisibility on yourself without expending a spell slot.
Yeah, access to another spell. Yeah.
And it's not a spell slot.
Yeah.
And that happens indefinitely. So you can just always do it, right? Yeah. Gift of the Depths. You can breathe underwater, and you gain a swim speed equal to your speed. You also can cast water breathing once without expending a spell slot, and you get it back on a long rest, right? So more spell slots and abilities, but they're kind of hidden, right?
Yeah.
So, let's move into subclasses and talk about those before we get into all the ways you can play a warlock by role play. So what do we got first?
First is Archfey.
Archfey Patron.
Yeah. This one I thought was really cool because it made me think of warlocks differently. So this one, it says, your pact draws on the power of the Feywild. So they suggested, of course, perhaps you make a pact with an Archfey. But this I thought was really interesting. Or perhaps you call on a spectrum of Fey, weaving a web of favors and debts. So maybe you don't have one patron. Maybe you're just going to, hey, if I do this, will you give me this? If I do this, will you give me this? Like, you're just like weaving a little web of, I owe this person this because they gave me this power and
That's
this
kind of
and
funny.
that, which
Yeah.
would just be so fun, especially if you have like, I'd picture it kind of going really well with a super charismatic person that's like, hey, I got this from this person. I don't know. It just seems like so much fun to role
that
play.
makes a lot of sense for the Feywild.
Yeah.
Too. Like, that just seems like a natural thing that someone
that
would
the
do.
Fae would do. Yeah.
100%.
All the wee fairy folk.
Yeah. So, right, when you get the subclass, you have the Steps of the Fae, which is one of those cast without a spell slot. You can cast Misty Step without a spell
great.
slot.
Nice.
And you can either help an ally by giving them temporary hit points, or you can hinder an enemy by giving them disadvantage in the process of your Misty Step. So an ally who you transport near to, or an enemy who you transfer away from, it's really cool. So then level 6, just to kind of upgrade to your Misty Step, a lot of them are about Misty Step.
All right.
At level
Love
6, you can now cast Misty Step as a reaction. And you have 2 options while you do so. You can turn invisible, or you can psychically damage enemies. And I didn't write the specifics down. I was trying to do
2d10 psychic damage, which is
2d10
pretty
psychic
epic.
damage on your enemies. And then 10th level, it says your patron teaches you how to guard your mind and body. If you choose Web of Debts, someone that you have made a deal with teaches you how to guard your mind and body, which makes you immune to the charmed condition. And now you can take a reaction to cut your damage in half and potentially make your attacker take the same amount of damage that you take. So
okay.
that's really cool. It's like, I remember you were glue. kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Right.
And then at level 14, another Misty Step 1, your patron grants you the ability to weave your magic with teleportation. So now, when you cast an enchantment or an illusion spell, you can now cast Misty Step at the same time, using the same action and no spell slot. So you're just casting another spell and Misty Stepping in the process.
Oh my goodness.
Which is, so the Archfey, it's a lot of Misty Step.
Yeah.
If you like that spell, you will love playing an Archfey Warlock.
Yeah, that sounds
But yeah, I think it does sound like a lot of fun to play.
Interesting.
If you want to be the kind of person that's like, ooh, I'm here, and doing all this stuff while you're at it, this is your person.
good. Okay.
All right, celestial? Celestial? Did I say celestial? I don't know. Okay, so the celestial... Can you say the word? This patron...
Celestial.
Okay, these warlocks draw their power from the upper planes. And they kind of walk a line between holy magic and like the forbidden bargain situation of all the warlocks. So this one's interesting because their power doesn't come from worship, but it's like an agreement with some sort of radiant celestial being, right?
Okay, so that's what sets them apart from a cleric.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that this subclass is necessarily like, oh, let's make a warlock a cleric. I do think it's a little different than that, but it is kind of that too. So it enhances warlock's abilities and adds some like survivability and support. So you kind of turn into a support warlock, which is a little different. So you get a list of celestial spells. Most of this is packed with like healing, restoration, radiant damage, and even a little bit of summoning of celestial allies, which is kind of neat. So you kind of get a chance to gain access to like magic that warlocks would never normally ever touch or have access to, which is a little different. Then you get something called Healing Light, which is quite interesting. I like this one. You get a pool of healing dice. So you get a bunch of D6s that you can spend as a bonus action. And it kind of gives you this fast, flexible healing that doesn't cost spell slots and can let you save allies in clutch moments. There are some limitations to like how many d6s you can use, but it's just a bonus action. You can do it on yourself or an ally and just spend these d6s. And I'm pretty sure they come back after a long rest. The other thing you get is, I think it's a level 6 one. It's Radiant Soul. You get resistance to radiant damage.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, and then you can boost your radiant or fire spells with extra damage as well, which is nice. And yeah, your offensive magic basically starts carrying divine fire with it. So, yeah. That's always nice to be able to add a little extra to your spells. And then Celestial Resilience is the next one. So this one, you and your nearby allies can gain temporary hit points whenever you rest or recover resources. So yeah, you can just kind of like quietly instill your party with extra health and yourself as well. And I think it's a reasonable amount of temporary hit points as well. Your Warlock level plus your charisma modifier.
Yeah.
So that could be pretty substantial. And then I think your allies get half that, but temporary hit points are always great.
Well, that's like 25 minimum at level 20.
Yeah.
Because you're going to bump your charisma up to 5.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So that's awesome. And then your last one, your high level one here is called Searing Vengeance. So when you or an ally is going to make a death save, you can flood the battlefield with holy light, do massive healing and radiant damage to enemies in a blinding flash that can turn defeat into a comeback. I think this is a really cool ability. Basically, if you or someone else is about to make a death save, you can just like have them explode in light and succeed and heal.
Okay.
And the healing is substantial, half their maximum.
Yep.
So you bring someone back with half health after being, making death saves.
That's insane.
Which is pretty wild.
That's and once you get up to level 14, that's quite a bit of that's quite a bit of health that you're bringing back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So interesting one. Very much the support warlock, which I don't know that I've ever considered that being an option, but it is. So there you go.
I feel like this character, a good story for them would be like, you're not a good enough person for me to make you a cleric, or you're not, you're not devoted enough. But I need you at this moment, so I'm going to grant you some
for sure. Very interesting role play.
It's the people who don't want to worship the god, but they want to make a deal with God.
I had a celestial warlock that I loved. I was playing this one character, and she was like on a hunt to cure her husband from something. Anyway, she succeeds, but she also dies. Then he's like desperate to bring her back, and so he goes to this like religious organization that has been set up, and he's just like, I need power now. And so then he's able to like make a pact and have that. So it's still like it's the warlock shortcut to magic. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like turning to dark sources. It was still like approaching,
Okay.
That's interesting.
No, that's true.
Okay,
that's
and I did have a quick example here. Again, I feel like a fraud because I barely know anything about this example, but it's from Supernatural.
I see it. I
there's
love
a
it.
character from named Castiel. He's basically like an angel guy.
Yeah.
Would he make a good warlock?
I don't know that
he is an angel.
That's the problem with this example, is that he kind of already is an angel. But like from what I understand, he's very much about like protecting humanity in a way.
Here's a question. Are Dean and Sam the warlocks?
Are they making deals with God? Maybe.
Yeah.
To some extent.
If you like took away the fact that he is an angel and maybe just pretended that he made a pact, I think it would work.
Just change everything about him. That he's the
Just change
perfect
it to be the
example.
exact subclass. It works. So, I couldn't think of anything else. If you have a better example, let me know. But this is a tricky one to find a
tricky
real world
one.
use of.
That is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Huh. You give me an idea for this next one, though. Okay, let's do the Fiend Patron.
The Fiend Patron. So this is turning to dark sources. This is
the exact opposite.
This is the opposite. So level 3, right off the start, you get some Fiend spells, which are all fire, basically. Lots of fire. Also command and suggestion, insect plague, some other things, but mostly fire. And then also Dark One's Blessing, which I forgot to use ever when I was playing this. But it's epic when you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, or when anybody else reduces an enemy within 10 feet of you to 0 hit points. you get temporary hit points. Why did I never remember to use this?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I kept looking at it and being like, that's so good, I need to remember to, and I never remembered to use that.
And then
yeah.
she died fighting a dragon.
You know what? It's fine. It was worth it. Moving on.
It was not worth it.
It was so worth it. It was so fun. Level 6, Dark One's Own Luck. So you have a limited amount of times you can use it. You can add a D10 to an ability check or saving throw. You do have to do that before you are told the effects of the die roll, but you can see the die roll before you decide to use it. And that can be really fun. That was really fun when your dragon kept trying to do things to me and I could just pass my saving throw.
The moral of the story is don't let your players eat an ice troll heart. Ever.
Then they try to take up a dragon solo.
I think the moral of the story is that soloing a dragon is fun, even if you die.
Yeah.
Moving on. Level 10, Fiendish Resilience. So every time that you take a long rest, you can just pick a type of damage other than force, and then you are resistant to that damage until you choose a different one. So that's pretty cool. You can just, if you know what you're going to be fighting that day, you could align it to that, or you could just pick it random for the funsies of it. And then level 14 is a really fun ability. It's called Hurl Through Hell. Ooh. And so when you hit a creature with an attack, you can try to transport them through the lower planes. They get to do a charisma saving throw. Yes.
Great.
And if they fail their charisma saving throw, then they get whipped through, they disappear, and they hurtle through Nightmare Landscape. If they are not a fiend, it doesn't work on fiends, unfortunately, they take 8d10 psychic damage. And they're also incapacitated until the end of your next turn, obviously, because they're not present.
Yeah, they're busy right now.
And when they're done their little vacation, they get to come back into the space that they previously occupied, or the nearest unoccupied space if that space has been filled. Oh. And you can only do that once per long rest, unless you expend a packed magic spell slot to restore it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So you could do it multiple times.
Wow. I have a character for this one.
Okay, good example. Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because what it is he gets into an accident, he realizes him and his brother are dying, and he cries out for help. I'll do anything. Yeah. And he gets the Ghost Rider powers.
Yep.
But he has to go and hunt down people because of it.
That's very appropriate.
Yep.
Flames.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Great Old One patron. I've got a little bit to say about this one. So,
a little bit of good or a little bit of bad?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So, So your patron in this one is you bind yourself to an unspeakable being from the far realm or an elder god. Something such as Zargon, the Returner, Hadar, the Dark Hunger of Hadar, the spell, or Great Cthulhu, right? Go figure. Anyways, so you get information from them, and their motives may be incomprehensible, or they might be indifferent to you. But the Aberrant Sorcerer does everything I wish this did.
Okay.
And this doesn't feel like, so we'll go through what it does, but to me it doesn't feel like somebody that is a warlock of the old ones.
Okay. It doesn't have the eldritch flair you wanted.
It just doesn't have it, yeah. So let's go through it. It has some things, but it's not quite what I want. So Awakened Mind. You can form a telepathic connection within 30 feet, and you have to be within the amount of miles as your charisma modifier.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
The Aberrant Sorcerer does that. Exactly the same. Maybe. I haven't looked at it word for word. Anyway, yeah. But you get some cool spells. You get Detect Thoughts, Dissonant Whispers, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Hunger of Hadar, Modify Memory, Summon Aberration. So there's some, it's kind of on theme. Then you get Psychic spells. All of this does is when you do a Warlock spell that deals damage, you can change the damage type to Psychic. That's it, really. In addition, when you cast a Warlock spell that is enchantment or illusion, you can do so without verbal or semantic components. So at level 6, you gain what's called Clairvoyant Combatant. When you form a telepathic bond with a creature using your awakened mind, you can force this creature to make a Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. If it fails, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and you have advantage on attack rolls against it for the duration of that whole bond.
Okay.
Kind of cool. Doesn't
Yeah.
feel that potent. I mean, advantage and disadvantage. It is good for singling out a character, right? It just doesn't feel super eldritch. It feels more like fey trickery to me, right?
You just want them to be able to grow random limbs and
beat people,
freak
with them.
people out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a darkness missing there. I think.
There is.
Like, there's something that should be like unsettling and dark and twisted in that, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not present in that
It's
one.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the Aberrant Sorcerer talks about, oh, you can see in the dark, and you have waving
Yeah,
sensory
there's a lot of
organs that
flavor.
replace your eyes. Like, wow, that's eldritch,
Yeah.
right? But this
It's like you made a deal and you got the
psychic abilities.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hooray.
I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling underwhelmed so far.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get the complaint there.
Level 10, Eldritch Hex. Your alien patron grants you a powerful curse. You always have the hex spell prepared, and when you cast it, you choose an ability, because that's part of the spell. You choose an ability. The target also has disadvantage on saving throws for the saving ability.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
potent.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel eldritch.
Not really.
And then Thought Shield. This one is okay. Your thoughts cannot be read telepathically unless you allow it. You also have resistance to psychic damage, and whenever a creature deals psychic damage to you, that creature takes the same amount of damage you take.
Okay.
Boom. Last thing, Create Thrall. When you cast Summon Aberration, you can modify it so it doesn't take concentration. It also gets an amount of temporary hit points equal to your Warlock level plus your Charisma modifier. And if it attacks the character that you've hexed, it does extra damage. Right? Cool, but just not great. Just like,
Yeah.
as far as like spells along with theme. Now, let's go into talking about role-playing a Warlock. Role-playing a Great Old One, awesome. There's so much stuff you could do. You can get all crazy and like, I'm getting psychic ideas and all that. But there's no mutations. There's no really, truly unsettling things in this. You're just going to have to come out with them in your roleplay somehow, if that's the vibe you're going for. Role-playing a Warlock is a lot of fun. It's a blast. I really wish they had put more thought into the Great Old One.
I won't lie, because we did just recently talk about the Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And basically every subclass in that was super thematic and
Yeah.
flavorful. And these were pretty thematic and flavorful too. But this one, I do feel a little let down by it.
Yeah,
There's some
specific-
distinct flavor and theme that's lacking here, I think.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The
that very
Fiendish-
easily could have been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily. Yeah. The Fiendish one, excellent.
Great.
The Celestial one, excellent. The
Yeah.
Fey one, I thought it felt Fey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely
In fact,
feels fey.
There's
yeah.
a lot of this that feels more Fey. Though,
Yeah.
Right? Like, they
Yeah,
could have...
it's almost that they lean too heavily into like the mental aspect of it, like the sound.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't all have to be that. I know that's usually quite a focus of Eldritch stuff, but it doesn't all have to be that.
Come on, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast. What you could do is you could literally give them a modified version of the polymorph spell.
Right.
And you turn into, like, you're allowed to polymorph into aberrant creatures. Like it's just, there's so, it's an easy fix. Maybe Hunger of Hadar. Where's Everard's Black Tentacles? I feel like more of the Eldritch spells, you're going to find more of them in the normal Warlock spell list, like Crown of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I was a little disappointed by the Eldritch one. I'm sorry, guys. Do you like Warlocks? Do you like the changes to Warlocks? Some of the changes are that you can just switch out things more. But yeah, if you like Warlocks, please comment. Tell us about your best Warlock. And if you've had a really good experience with the new Great Old One, or even the old one, anyways, please let us know in the comments. Give me some fuel, because right now I'm not feeling it. And if you like what we're doing, please comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time as we talk about the wizard. In the, I was going to say in the Parted Veil. This is not the Parted Veil.
Could go there, but
Yes, check out Adventures in the Parted Veil. It's our live play.
Yeah.
We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, hi again. Do watch Adventures in the Parted Veil, and if you do, you'll probably notice that we mention our Patreon a lot, and that our Patreon comes with access to a Discord group where you can chat with us directly. We've been really bad at plugging this lately, but it is still there. We just had our first Patreon subscriber join, which was super duper fun. They came into an empty chat room and quickly made it a party in there. So thank you to our first Patreon subscriber. Thank you also to anybody. If you were even here watching this at the end of the video, thank you for viewing our content, for commenting, liking, subscribing. It really, really means a lot. We're still a very small channel, but we're starting to grow, and we are so excited to see where this can go.